working on the last wall here. This is the 2x6 wall that goes up. That's going to be running or using the acting as a load, a support. So it's all 2x6. And one thing that's nice again with this pre-cut kit is all the built up studs, they nail them together for you. So you got the 4 and then the regular stud here. So those are all cut off. You can see they mark out. It's kind of hard to see. But they mark out the where the studs go for you, so none of this is really difficult, but all of it saves a little bit of time. Same thing on the pressure treated side. So it's just like all the other walls, pretty much the same. Drill out the holes, mark where the bolts are coming through, mark them out, make sure it's correct. Same thing. So I'm gonna finish this wall up. One thing I did was make sure the bolts aren't too tight on the side here and open it up this way and this way a little bit. You don't want it perfectly 12 feet or whatever you need in there, because it's gonna be hard if you're swinging up this heavy wall and trying to fit it in perfectly. So give yourself a little bit of room. One thing I noticed is I didn't cut out for the beam here. The beam is actually 6, so there's 4 2x6s there, so 6 that wide, and then 12 inches this way, which is this beam right here. So I'm gonna have to cut this 2x6 at the top here on both sides to make room for the little pocket. That's not a big deal. One thing I noticed is gonna be different is the sheathing, or the 1/2 inch plywood. The wall has to go on the underside here. And since I'm doing it by myself and don't have a lot of room, I don't have a really good way of putting it one side, then turning it over. It's just going to be, plus it's going to be too heavy with all these built-up beams here and everything. So I think I'm just going to end up pushing it up with none of the plywood siding on it, and then just have to nail it on once it's up, which is a lot harder holding it, but I don't really have a good alternative here. And I'm actually going to do like I did before, is to raise this up onto a platform that's higher than the screw or the bolts that are coming up, so that when I go to lift it up, it's going to come down and then fall down onto it, versus trying to lift it up there and you against gravity lifting everything. 6 inches up this side too. Actually, now that's cut, lined up, other marker's off by a 1/4 inch or so. That's fine. So now it's all lined up here, so you see that's where the pocket's going to go, and then that's where the pockets are going to go as well. That's going to go up against the wall, and then the beam will sit right down on the built up. So I'm going to start nailing this all together, and then get it up there, get the sill plate gasket on the bottom, and then get ready to push it up. And I just wanted to double check the measurement here. So we're gonna put 11 feet. Right at, it's like 1/8 over. That should be perfect. Because these beams are just under 6 inches. See, just under. Depends where you measure it. It's like 5 7/8 or so. And then the beam is 12 inches, just under, same thing, like just about 1/8 of an inch under. So with that little bit of extra play on both sides, maybe overlap it by about 1/16 of an inch or so, that'll give me plenty of room. 16-foot board here. I'm going to screw it in across diagonal, make sure the top's there, so high enough up so it goes up to anything that doesn't hit it. At least that'll give me some more structural, so when I go up it's not twisting and turning or against it. So I'm just going to temporarily sink it in some 2.5 inches depth. First attempt to do it manually. So I'm going to try that loaded up in the front. We'll see how that pulls. So I got the 4 walls up, tied it in, feels square, looks square, level, so it's good to go. So I want to put the plywood on now. Again, I couldn't do it because of the way I had to lift it up, so I have to do it now. I needed 3/4 of an inch off the bottom because I'm going to have that extra pressure treated plywood at the bottom. But I've marked a 3/4 inch off there, so I'm going to try a technique like the installers do from the kitchen when doing kitchen cabinets, is just put a ledger up there. That way you can just put something on there heavy, lean it up there instead of trying to hold it and get it off the ground. Yeah, this doesn't have to be in so tight, just enough to hold that weight for temporary. These are pretty easy to do just because it's 12 foot wide, just 4 by 8. So just put it without really measuring, just have to line it up on the edge there. I've got one screw here, so I'm going to lay it up there, just tied it just to hold it in place before I can do anything. The wall should have been straight, so it's probably going to jump off a little bit. Alright, much better. So now I can just nail it in like normal. The next one will be a lot easier because I'll have just mostly square this way, square that way. So I'll be able to put it up and just line it up. Because I finished nailing off all the panels on there. I forgot to record it, but I cut out the door on the other side. So before I put this last panel up, I want to make sure I cut out the door so that you can actually have a place to get in and out. So you see these are all done. I still need to do the top panels up there, but that involves some bracing on the other side. We'll get that done. Let's go out here. So again, so I actually just went from the inside if you've never done this before. So obviously this was all covered, just really just easy. I found it easier to come from the inside so that you can lay the saw blade up against the 2x4s here. Just put it through, saw down, saw up, all around, and then you go through the sill plate as well. Take that all out, falls out. That way then have access. So you can see it's all pretty much coming together. Again, I have to put the brackets up there or some blocking